Acércate al micrófono porque si no. All right, we're live.
All right, we are live.
After extreme technical difficulties.
Extreme technical difficulties. How's it going, everybody? Thank you for joining us. We are live with Victor Villicana, and oh boy, what a day it's been. Ugly Old Goat won't be joining us today. His voice is completely shot, and so I'll be your host for today. And I'm going through a flu, and then we just had some technical difficulties, but we pulled through. You know, Eddie saved the day. So thank you, Eddie, and thanks for watching. How you doing today, Victor?
Fine, thank you. I'm fine.
Yeah, so we just came from the Bitcoin Working Man cruise, and you're working with Ugly on an app called the Equity app, the Money Management Equity app, and it's really interesting. It's a really interesting app. You're trying to help people understand money management, and you know, Ugly Old Goat has been talking about money management a lot recently. Tone Base has been talking about it. It's a kind of rising topic, a way that you can trade and manage your wealth such that you know so that you don't lose everything. And anyway, I don't really understand it very well, and I'm learning a bit about it, learning it from you and from Ugly. But for somebody like me that doesn't really get money management or doesn't really know what that means, what is money management?
Right. Yeah. You could divide, as I said in my talk during the cruise, you could divide trading in two main parts. The technical analysis that I define as, or I view it as like something to do with your entries, with your exits, all that kind of stuff. But trying to predict the price is just nuts. It's impossible. So to me, if I always recommend to hodl, but if you want to gamble, you want to trade, then you want to do it the right or the best way possible, and that's why I recommend money management, because that was I was saying that you can't predict price. That's just impossible. So you could use technical analysis just a bit as a validation or something, but it's just the last part. It's just the last part you will use. So money management, it will be like I define it then with a lot some points. So the important concept to me is you need to define your position size, for example. You need to define your allowed drawdown. So all your maximum mix profit. That's the kind of thing you define in money management. So those concepts are your own, are very personal, and it's going to be different for every person. That's the thing. So yeah.
All right, that's really interesting. And one of the things that you were mentioning earlier was about the personal price loss, the lost price potential. And in the presentation, which we're going to be releasing real soon on Ugly's channel, your speech at the cruise, one of the slides that you showed that I found really interesting was a candle chart of your personal equity, and it included your, I guess, potential gain. So I guess this is what you're talking about, lost profits. So the candles were, you know, they had a wick, they had an open and a close, and the wick was the sort of lost price.
Yeah. So at what point when the missed profit is a concept I thought of like as when you are in profit in during a trade, then the trade start taking a little drawdown. So at that point you need to define how much of that drawdown you are going to take, but when you are in profit, not at a loss. So that's the meaning, and the visualization of that concept is the upper wick on an open high low close candle on your equity.
Right. On
Yeah,
your equity.
yeah. And the drawdown I define like when the trade it's going against you, maybe since the beginning. So you need to define in this case could be a week or could be entire candles below zero, for example, and in your equity. No, not below zero, but below the start of your trade. So when you start a trade, your equity has, for example, is point one Bitcoin. So then trades start going against you, and then, for example, that you define your own system and on your own money management system, and you define I don't want to give more than 5%. So when your equity hit point 0.095, for example, you exit. You
Mhm.
exit. That's it. And then re-evaluate. Yeah.
And do you measure it in percentage terms so that you never sort of
You could measure it in percentage terms, yeah, or you. It's better to me to do it in percentage terms, yeah, because otherwise it's going to be like tricky. Yeah,
Mhm.
I recommend percentage term.
Okay, great. Yeah, and that's one of the ways. Well, ugly. One of the things he talks about is that if you limit your positions, if you have good money management, you can't lose your equity, right? Like you're trying to
Yeah,
protect your
yeah,
base
yeah.
position.
But for example, ugly as you know, ugly. I also trade on cross margin, and I'm talking about BitMix. So I trade on cross margin. You know, cross margin, you are exposing your whole account, not just a bit. You are exposing your whole account. So in order to your liquidation point is far from the price. So you need to use a position size. I don't know, adequate or the correct position size. I mean, that's what I mean.
Okay. Can you give us an example? Let's say you're trading with $1,000,
Right.
or that your total equity is $1,000. How
Okay.
would you go about sort of play with it?
Okay. You will want to. It's very different on every person, but
Right.
it depends on your risk tolerance. But for example, if you do a trade with for example, you talk about $1,000. So you put a trade on, for example, the half of your equity. Yeah, and you could try it on the BitMix calculator that's on the side. So you simulate the trade with half of your equity and saw your liquidation point. So it's something that you want to game a little bit. So you want to play with that a little bit. So you find a point that when you take a profit, when the trade is going your way, so you have a nice profit. But when the trade goes against you, don't liquidate your account. That's the meaning. So
Got it. All right. And the equity app, we're going to be again publishing your presentation very soon. It's an alpha project. It looks really interesting. I really like that. That it's trying to give you the signals that you need to try to again manage your own personal sort of equity. How are things developing so far?
yeah, the equity app is developed right now. It's developed on Python, and it's almost done. Obviously, has a lot of bugs or has well, when I develop something, I prefer to get the things work first and then make it pretty.
Mhm.
So we are right now in the part of the development when we are just finishing the work to get it work.
Mhm.
That's so I will say like 95% on done with that. So the next part is given to you guys who attended to the Bitcoin Working Man's cruise. So and I want to receive a lot of your feedback, a lot of your comments on what did I miss, what
Mhm.
would be nice to have, and all the stuff.
That's great. Yeah. So you're having a kind of sort of alpha testing period.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I what I saw was very novel, very interesting, very different, and also very interesting because it is difficult to sort of manage and think about all the numbers and trading is more than just trading. Sort of the chart is when do you need the money and how much money you have and all these things that Ugly talks about. I'm not a professional trader, but I'm very curious to play with this and learn from Ugly in this sense. What are the problems that you're seeing in the market that you think the equity app is going to be addressing?
Yeah. My first inspiration is obviously Cesar Duarte.
Uh-huh.
So it's a good friend. So you guys know what happened to his account. So he has been a good inspiration to me. So I like to help people to avoid that. Yeah. This is the main goal. Is the main goal. So then obviously if you are if you like trading, you want to make money. So that's the second part, but the first part is to avoid getting wrecked. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and we have a very exciting project that I think we're not gonna mention yet, but
No.
I think it's in the works, and it's
Yeah.
going to be a really great test uh, of how useful money management is, right? Like even if you don't know anything about technical analysis, if you follow some of these rules, you might make more money than
Yeah,
than even if you touch and use something, right? So,
the idea behind that next project is do some kind of app you could use, and we don't know what to expect with
we're not
mentioning.
gonna talk
So,
about it.
no,
Okay,
yeah,
it's incoming.
the
Stay
idea
tuned.
is
It's gonna be
just
great.
that we don't know what to expect. So even in one of the outputs could be it proves that technical analysis is complete bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
That could be, and it's the all of us are expecting.
It's one
Yeah,
possibility. Yeah, yeah.
but maybe I don't
Maybe,
know.
yeah, maybe it'll show. Yeah,
Maybe it'll show that technical
yeah,
analysis do work. I don't know.
yeah, yeah,
I don't know, man. I prefer I do all my
yeah.
trading with more focus on money management, and obviously the more you focus on money management, your profits are not going to be that fast and that exponential, but it's something more responsible. I will call it responsible. So your loss is limited, but also your winnings are limited, and
Okay.
in a way. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, but then your pie grows, and so you have more toys to play with, more money to play with. So there
Yeah,
is a kind of
exactly.
there is a
Yeah.
sort of self
Yeah, you want
rewarding.
you want your equity like a nice slope, not too high, not
Hmm.
too slow, not too flat, but
Yeah.
a nice slope, but continuous grow
Mm.
up.
Right.
You don't want to take those big drawdowns.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's on and the other goal. You
Yeah.
don't want you don't want those big missed profits, and you don't want those big drawdowns.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and also other concept is very important is the app has this feature, a little bit of statistical analysis on your trades. So you could that part it's more focused on the technicals, on your entries, your exits, how to measure or a little bit the performance of that. That's sort of what part of the app does.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So this chart, this is a graphic app that shows you uh, price metrics or trading candle metrics on your personal trading behavior,
Yeah.
and it's fascinating. I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be really interesting. I'm going to be testing it. I'm not a professional trader. I've done a lot of like long term speculation and investment, and I've been playing the market for a few years now. But this makes me really excited to sort of get into more professional grade trading, and
Yeah, and I always say a lot of people that start trading, they're obviously they're not professional. I am not a professional trader
Right.
also, but this tool, it's I will tell you, this tool is helping me a lot to get better at trading, because before I had big winnings and then big losses, and at the end your equity is like flat, maybe a little bit higher, maybe a little bit lower, but it's like a mess. And when I start to analyzing my trades, this thing is like I with the app I start to like detecting my like errors on my way of thinking of the market. So I start to do a little corrections, and my trades it's just getting better with the use of that. So it's something I want to share with other traders, and with the people that are interested in trying the app. So
Yeah, and it's being informed by Ugly's experience in trading and his understanding of money management and all these concepts that he kind of knows and has had great success with, which is fascinating. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to learning a lot more about money management. So yeah, thank you for working on this, and stay tuned for the speech. Victor Villicana's.
yeah. They could come
Yeah.
Victor or
Victor's speech is gonna be great. And also keep an eye out for the alpha test that is probably gonna launch soon, right?
Yeah, maybe the next couple of weeks. Yeah.
Nice. 2 weeks TM.
Yeah.
2 weeks. This is excited. All right. So we also have Robert Allen on the line, ready to zoom in. How you doing, Robert? I think it's
Hey,
Mike.
gentlemen, how you doing? Good to see you again.
Yeah.
Good. There you are. Mike's on.
Good to
Perfect.
see you, Robert.
Yeah. Hey, I caught the tail end of you guys discussing the application you're working on, Victor. And I had a few more questions. I'm really just curious. Oh, are we getting?
No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead. Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I guess one thing I'd consider with what you're building is, does this app potentially work similar to a rebalancing strategy? And I guess this would maybe also depend on how Ugly intends to use it. So I'm curious also to learn more about what his thinking is. But so I guess what I'm trying to understand is, my guess is that the application is going to show, let's say you were trading multiple cryptographic assets. So you had Bitcoin and maybe Monero and Litecoin, I don't know, whatever it is that you're holding. And so you're tracking the Bitcoin value of that portfolio. So basically, the first question, I guess, is this for portfolio management, or is this for just trading Bitcoin, or what's the vision there in that sense?
Yeah, could be used for portfolio management. Yeah, it could be for that. Yeah, because I isolate every contract separately. It's a different chart, so you could see the whole charts put together in one.
Right.
But I recommend better to use the isolated charts for every contract. So of course, if you that's part of the money management. If you are seeing one contract go against you and breaking your own rules of money management, so you exit that and keep adding to the ones that are working great for you.
Right. And this is also for options trading only then, or for primarily options trading?
It's not for it's not meant for options. It's more like a position trading, swing trading, day trading, all the stuff. But first, for position trading and swing trading, yeah, it's not meant to do too much frequency, because you sometimes you do a lot of trades in one day, and just it's just a mess. Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, cool. And Ceso, how you doing, Ceso? I missed your message there. Yeah, so he asked, is this only for Bitcoin, or is it going to work with trading Ethereum as well?
Yeah, remember, guys, this is done right now just for BitMEX. So in BitMEX, you don't own anything but Bitcoin. So you could trade Ethereum on BitMEX, but it's Bitcoin. It's not Ethereum. You never own Ethereum. Yeah. All the contracts that are traded on BitMEX, that is going to work. But the options part, remember that there's two contracts, the down contract and the up contract. That I haven't tried it with that, but I just use the regular ones, the futures and the spot, the perpetual. I mean, hey,
I gotcha.
Cecil, how are you, man?
Says was in the house
You're mute.
and he's muted. Yeah,
Well,
there we go.
Hey, Cecil.
how are you guys?
Hey, fine, thank you.
Are you back
How
home
are
yet?
you, Robert? All good?
All good, all good.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Good to see you again.
Well, miss you guys. I'm
Yeah,
in my friend's house here near LA.
you're in LA, you said?
Just nearby.
Oh, just nearby.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Nice.
The same time zone still.
Sorry?
You're still in the same time zone.
Oh, yeah. I'm near LA.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Right on. How's the market today, says? So are we about to crash? Mr. GUI says BTC dump at 987.
Yeah.
And I think, Ugly was right. The market is going down. Huh? But
Yeah,
I think
is it?
we,
I haven't checked it.
yeah,
I haven't
I
checked
think
the
we're gonna
price.
go
Yeah, we've been doing.
test the
We-
21 EMA on the weekly charge around 9,350 something. I think we're gonna
9,700.
visit that area.
Well, let's see.
Interesting. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, to me, like again, like I've been around for 5 years, so I've been seeing a lot of swings up and down. And again, I'm not an expert or anything like that. I'm not a day trader either, but I don't feel the momentum. I don't feel like we're ready to break through the 20,000. I was in disbelief on the way up. It felt too sudden, and like the fundamentals hadn't, like enough infrastructure hadn't happened, or enough change it wasn't visible. Even though there's a lot of really good news on the sidelines and a lot of bad news as far as fiat goes on the sidelines as well, right? So things are moving that way, but I just my intuition was like we're not there yet.
Oh, I lost you. Robert, are you there?
I'm here. Yeah, they cut out for a second. Looks like maybe their connection went.
Yeah.
I guess I was curious to know if they had talked about the cruise at all,
No, we got disconnected.
which we all just got back from. So tremendous. I feel like I'm
They lost my audio there.
I'm unpacking so much from those few short days together. It was wow, what an experience.
What an
So
experience.
amazing.
Yeah.
For me, it was, as Thomas told, really clear, really nice on the boat, was a conference that was no stage, no different between the audience and the speakers. And that was unique. It was really nice. And about this 20,000, I think the only thing we need to go to 20,000 is more episodes for Bitcoin Friends.
Yeah.
Bitcoin Friends on Netflix.
Right.
You're gonna see. We're gonna
That
go
will
to
help.
20,000
That will help.
very easy.
I
So
love
Robert,
it.
can you please hurry up?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
well-
feeding. I feel like I need another hit of BTC and friends.
Yeah.
Another hit is coming, hopefully middle to end of October. That's what I'm really hopeful for in terms of timeline. Yeah, I mean, today I was just catching up on my inbox and kind of unwinding. Man, it was quite an event. So there's a lot to process, and also a lot of thinking about next year. And my hope and my assumption is that this is something that we will continue on with into the future. Not sure how Ugly feels or what his thoughts are on that, but man, I hope that was the inaugural year and that we can grow this bigger and bigger every year, because I think it was a phenomenal event, my favorite conference I've attended so far.
Yeah.
Just as you were saying, it was a flat event, and that was really refreshing. And I feel like there was just a sense of humility from pretty much everyone involved, where we're coming to bring what we can offer to the table, but we also realize that we're only bringing a piece, and that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And so that sort of attitude was really I noticed it, and I think it made it so much more comfortable, because people weren't really trying to one up each other the whole time, which I think can be really counterproductive. So yeah, tremendous. I feel like I think I was talking with Thomas, and he was saying that there was a point where a lot of the marketing efforts that were associated with Bitcoin were associated with people that left to go to Bitcoin Cash. And a lot of the personalities and the people that were pushing the marketing end of Bitcoin, were gone at that point. And so there's a bit of a vacuum. And my hope is that, you know, with Bitcoin Friends and with all the different projects that you guys are involved with, that we can, you know, coalesce around sort of build a new group of marketers where we can help each other work together and
Hey,
you know, all get a benefit. Hey.
Ugly just joined.
Hey, hey, hey.
hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey.
How
How
are you?
are
Ugly?
you, Ugly?
How's the market?
Oh, you guys just keep going. Hey, I can't talk. I lost my voice. But you know what? You guys are going to carry the ball. Let me tell you something. These guys were amazing. Everybody they knew their job, the most fantastic presentations. Robert, what is the name of that book on your desk that I looked at? The Art of Storytelling.
Well, that's a book that Chris has been reading, to be completely honest. So I can't say too much about it. You know, Chris has really honed his craft as a storyteller over the last, decade or so. He's been working as a screenwriter since college, working on scripts. Even actually high school, he was involved in that. So, you know, he's a brilliant storyteller. I'm bringing a lot of other things to the table, but not as much of that. So I'd love to have Chris come on, you know, chat with you guys at some point to talk, to talk more about that and maybe talk about the book. Unfortunately, I really can't say much about it because I haven't read it. So
Sounds fascinating. I'm gonna have to get it.
I don't know if you guys, I don't know if you realize it. Yeah, I don't know if you realize it or not. Okay.
yeah, well, yeah.
I don't know
We'll
if you
get Chris
realize
on to talk about it is what I was saying.
the conference had I deliberately had what do they call that? A storyboard, and it flowed. And it wasn't me, guys. A lot of it was, you know, divine providence.
You know, I have to say that I felt a bit of that too. It was really an event that felt like there was that God, that something was shining on us and helping us to come together in a way that I think was truly kind of supernatural. I guess I would say it was amazing for me.
I loved it. I think it was a great conference. I really, I think we connected in a way that's rare in crypto conferences today, and it had that kind of magic of the first conference of many. You know, it had its own unique brand, its unique purpose. Right, again, as you mentioned earlier, is trying to bring together entrepreneurs, which I think there is a power vacuum as well from the fork with Bitcoin Cash, and so. It's a lot of the entrepreneurs left, a lot of the marketers left, and I think it might be time to take over that. Well, at least to bring that value back, really, and to bring some of those perspectives back, but with a focus on Bitcoin and with a focus on the real potential of Bitcoin that we all understand now. You know, whatever perspectives they had are you know they're living them out in their own coins and so on, and letting that letting the market settle that.
Right.
So I just want to say hi to Chui or Gui Herman from Gui. Thanks for following the show.
For me, what nice, nobody was worried about the price in this conference. Everybody was talking about the future or how to bring more people into Bitcoin. And it was a conference that talked to the simple person, to the person that is having not a developer or somebody that is new in the space. And I think this is priceless. I cannot wait for the next one because everybody was in this conference going to bring 4 people next year.
I'm going to try to bring 10 if I can help it. But yeah, I love that.
You guys did it. You guys nailed it. And you guys did it. And you know what? This is kind of weird to say, but Tyler Jenks is looking down on you with a big smile.
I love that. Well, what I felt ugly from you, and I want to just express it again, is you see that this is is a big technology that means so much for humanity. And you see that we are building, and to paraphrase, I thought your speech was just brilliant, but you said, we're building a new America, and that we're building a new nation, a Bitcoin nation without borders, without violence, with a peaceful approach to handling differences. And that's what Bitcoin is. It's opt-in, it's voluntary. You can run a node or you cannot. You can go off and mine other cryptocurrencies and play other games, or you can get on board the biggest train and the best vehicle, I believe, that we have for the future of money. But it's all voluntary, right? You don't have to be here if you don't want to be here. And that to me is the right way to go. And so I just can't say enough, wow, I'm inspired by you. And I love the conference, and, let's do it again next year, and let me know how I can help. So I'm on board.
All right. Well, it's a miracle. One, tell the audience how we got Robert on board. All by itself.
Yeah, that was amazing. I posted on Twitter if I had any friends in Long Beach, and Robert Allen replied, and I needed somebody to ship some like promotional materials to. So I asked him, and he was willing and stuff. And all of a sudden he sends me, he's like, "Hey, yeah, have you seen this?" And he sends me BTC and Friends. It's like, "This is our project," or something like that. So I look at him like, "Oh my God, I remember watching this show like, months ago." And I remember watching the first episode, and I couldn't believe that I was talking to the producers. So I got really excited, and then I told Ugly about it, and Ugly was like, "Yeah, bring him on." And so it all happened within a week, and it was so fast and so easy. And Robert, you were great to us, very, very kind and generous.
Yeah.
And
Hey, thank you. And Juan, can I just
you invited us to your home, and we watched a live viewing of we watched all the episodes. It was fun.
Yeah, that was really
Yes.
fun. Actually, that's
The audio wrong? What's going on?
first time I've watched them all back to back like that, and it was so fun to see you all enjoying it. And Juan, thank you for the opportunity. You really made this happen. You were the connector, and I believe you brought at least one or two other people, other speakers to the event. So this was a large part thanks to you as well. Yeah, so thank you. Awesome to be a part of it, and thank you.
Another thing I want to say about Juan, he is now putting together all of this conference, because I do think it's a historic inaugural conference. I mean, Socrates just nailed it, and then Zazo nailed it, and then we have a surprise speaker that was never announced, and that's Ugly's kid, and that's my own son, who told the real ugly old gold story. And Zazo got wrecked, but I got really wrecked, and the goat wrecked, and he told a little bit about that. And then it went on and on with Bitcoin Motors. And it went on with Gustusis and, the soul of Bitcoin. And then we have Gabriel came on with Bitcoin Mayhem, and, he outlined logic. And then Katie opened the gate for us. Juan, you did the most fantastic, thorough presentation on privacy. Don't let any corporate steal from you, because you're the man. You're going to go places no one else has gone before. So.
Thanks, man.
And then we found the Bitcoin Master Ceremonies. There is one and only Mad Bitcoin.
He's mad.
Yeah.
He's mad. And he's the greatest MC
Bitcoin
around. And we just need to recognize him as such.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
And then we had another guest that was not advertised. Thomas Hunt showed up, and he told us about World Crypto Network and all of the people that are part of the Bitcoin community now, the Bitcoin standard bearers that started on his show. And you know what? Wow. What a cool thing that he's done. Mad Bitcoin and Thomas Hunt was one of the very first people that I watched. I think I saw Mad Bitcoin before I saw before I saw Thomas Hunt, before I saw Tone Days or Jimmy Song. So we need to see who he is, and we need to lift him up for the Bitcoin master ceremonies of who he is. Hey guys, we got to have fun in this space. That's what it's about.
No, him and Kate make a, they can turn anything to a party.
Yeah. Yeah. Such a great MC.
Robert, you were so great for the close, because I'm going to tell you guys that we have had, I'm hoarse. I can barely talk because I was thrown out. Okay, guys, this is not me. This is you. And we were throwing out one idea after another. And what's going to happen in the next 3 months and 6 months and next year is going to be absolutely phenomenal. You won't believe what these guys are working on. And it's not an ugly old goat. People are looking at me because I happen to have a good track record. These guys know what they're doing. I don't know crap.
Well, you're being humble, Ugly, and I think you've brought so much to the table. So thank you again. And we're all inspired by you tremendously. We're all playing a part in this. But yeah, I really feel like, wow, the energy that I received from the rest of you, I feel like it's going to carry me for the next 6 months or maybe longer. But we got to keep in contact and keep working and collaborating and supporting each other. We're going to make a big difference here, and I think we're going to be much more effective if we have the support of each other. So,
and people that are watching, let me tell you this: Juan and Eddie are.
Yep. Oh. What's going on?
What's going on?
Okay, Juan and Eddie are editing the conference, so it'll all be broken down into segments. I will write a Medium article, and we'll outline it so everybody can really see the flow of this conference and where we're going. And we'll hopefully have this done before the end of this week. And we got to get this out because it's that good.
Yeah.
It's really that good. And the speakers, I do ask, hey, help one out. When I'm asking you guys, we need to send them a little $50 tip because we're going to have your own segment. You can use it for your own promotions. We got so many ideas. It's just incredible. I got to bow out because I got to go rest and I can't talk. So carry on, guys. You're doing great.
And guys, I'm going to say bye to everybody too. I have to get ready for traveling.
Awesome.
You guys, thank you for the amazing time and memories you guys gave to me. Let's keep in contact.
For sure. Looking forward to this.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Yeah. Well, I'm thrilled, and I can't wait to get that content out. I got a lot of editing to do as well, so I'm getting ready to call it a day. But any last...
Yeah, just again, Robert, being at your place and watching directly where the show was created was just amazing. Just I don't know, man. Just something amazing. All of us Bitcoiners watching the show. With you and your brother was wow. Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah, that was a great way to end the conference, and I'd like to make that a tradition if we can help it. You guys would be able to come and hang out after. We'll even if we have too many people, we'll pick a venue or something, but do a post cruise.
Super down for that, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, in 2 years you're gonna have a great big studio, and it won't be in your apartment.
There we go. I love it. All right.
It's great.
So that's it.
Very exciting. Well, I think there's a lot coming, and a lot of that's going to come from this conference. Again, like the relationships that we made, the conversations we had, the ideas that we talked about and realized had a lot of good potential. I'm very excited about what's coming and what could come from this. So looking forward to it. Stay tuned. And
yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Nice to meet you, all of you guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Paddle on, bros.
We're on a boat.
Yeah.
We're on a
We're
boat.
on a boat. We're on a boat. We're on a boat. And we're on a boat. Oh, what a great video.
A great video. Perfect song for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a boat, and we're all in it,
Yeah.
guys. All right, sayonara.
Bye.